happened. Here's some background on. Here is some background on Zelensky, who used to be a comedian, by the way.
Welcome back to CBS Mornings. The president of Ukraine's defiant response to Russia's invasion has made him recognized and celebrated around the world. So like many of you, we wanted to know, who is Volodymyr Zelensky? Well, Holly Williams has got a pretty good idea because last year she spent time with Zelensky and his family in Ukraine. This morning, she shows us how this former comedian became the face of a nation under siege.
Бажаю здоров'я, українські герої.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky is being hailed as a new Winston Churchill, stoically refusing to leave his country even as the bombs rain down, sending words of inspiration to his people. But Zelensky started out as a comedian performing stand-up. He went on to make
Will they show him playing the piano with his dick?
Movies, often playing an everyman, like a Ukrainian Steve Carell.
People say Zelensky's like Servant of the People comedy show was like a CIA op. I don't believe that, by the way, but I have heard that kind of that level of rhetoric. Like people, bro, he did the Servant of the People fucking show that's like Veep specifically so that he could like, you know, get the Ukrainians to love him. Leftists think everything is CIA. Yeah, it's so funny that I think that is a little bit, that takes it a little bit too far. Okay?
He even won the local version of Dancing with the Stars and voiced Paddington
Колись було, а зараз ви собачу їжу
in the
рекламуєте.
Ukrainian version of the blockbuster film.
Yo! Are you fucking kidding me? Yo, that was Paddington. Yo, homie was Paddington. Get the fuck out of here.
Їжу.
And voiced Paddington
Колись було, а зараз ви собачу їжу
in the
рекламуєте.
Ukrainian version of the blockbuster film. He created and starred in a hit comedy series about a Ukrainian high school teacher who improbably becomes president.
Дорогі співвітчизники.
And that led to Volodymyr Zelensky, at age 41, improbably becoming president in real life, winning more than 70% of the vote.
Damn, his wife is hot. Good for him. His wife is taller and hot.
His campaign platform was bringing Ukrainians together and fighting corruption. Last year, we were given rare access to President Zelensky as he visited the front line in eastern Ukraine, where they've been fighting Russian-backed separatists for nearly 8 years. Even then, he was taking risks.
I love how this doesn't explain what was his politics. Amazing. Dude, are you kidding me? They don't give a fuck about that. Why would they? What? Dude, that's the other side of the planet. On the other side of the planet, there's only heroes and villains. There is no such like, is this a neoliberal? Is this a reactionary? Is this far right? Is this far left? Is he a communist? Well, I guess they always say like everyone's a communist, usually if they want them to associate them with a bad guy. But that's it. So fighting corruption by being named in the Pandora Papers, dude, his level of corruption is literally nothing in comparison to Poroshenko or even fucking Yanukovych. Okay, so come on, or especially Yanukovych. Like you're ridiculous for saying, or Putin. It's Ukraine. Of course they have fucking oligarchs, and of course they're corrupt. Why are we making it seem like this corruption is not normal when corruption is fucking normal in America? By the way, 72% is legit. His popularity was also waning though in Like, I think it went down to like 30% or something, if I'm not mistaken, before this invasion. And now it's, I don't know. I don't think they're polling currently, but if you polled, it would probably be fucking 99% now. Are you saying there's zero oligarchs in the USA? Bitch, please. No, what? No, I'm literally not saying that. It's like it's almost like an Orientalist perspective. He used to shit on Poroshenko for bending for the EU back in 2017, 2018. Oh, Moldovan Mama Liga's back, baby. Ooh.
Hi.
My man, my favorite chatter.
Going within 150 yards of the separatists.
And they go a little bit forward to see what's
Is this an answer that Clint Bandera was a hero? Wait,
going
what?
on there. And for example, in May,
They're glorifying him here. He was starting to not be well liked. No, I mentioned that. That's exactly what I mentioned. Like, he was not. By the end of this process, when they interviewed him here, he was not well liked. Okay, he was not well liked at all. Partially because, you know, if you can't beat him, you join him. And from what I understand, it's not like he was able to fucking take down corruption.
2 guys were killed by sniper.
The president also went to visit his elderly parents,
That's my mother.
Hello, ma'am. Nice to meet you.
inviting us in for breakfast.
Ladies first,
No,
I'm
no, no.
sorry.
I'm fairly sure presidents get to go first.
Surely he won't work with Nazis.
In the tiny
No, of course, dude. Look, he turned a blind eye. He turned a blind eye to, of course, the fucking Nazis within the National Guard. Like I said, he was less overt than Poroshenko, but it still doesn't matter. Like, it's just the country has the country, out of legitimate fears of a Russian invasion, or because of its own complex history with nationalism, or its nation building project that spans over almost fucking 200 years at this point, or 100 years, around like leaving the USSR, has always had a history of nationalism and even in certain circumstances, both on the one side fighting alongside the USSR and on the other side collaborating with Nazis, 2 separate groups. It's not as black and white to explain as like from an American's point of view. I guess like if you were to, like, Zelensky is not a Nazi. He's not. He's just a centrist neoliberal. But as a consequence of being the leader in Ukraine, of course, there are instances where he has turned a blind eye to neo-Nazi battalions, neo-Nazi formations, but America does that as well. So, you know, it's like that. I want you to understand it in the same way that, like, it's the same as like the American government doing that. It's just like the most annoying thing is like, he is Jewish, you know. Yeah, I do know. As a Ukrainian, okay, these are the better takes I like from you about Ukraine, recognizing the historical nuance. Yeah, of course I recognize the historical nuance. Anytime you fucking hear me talk about this shit, if people are clipping shit and not showing the historical nuance, then that's their fault. But that historical nuance is also what makes me fear a rise of... That historical nuance makes me fear very nice people both sides.
Brain rot.
Yeah, I mean, Trump did that. Exactly. I mean, so...
Lose anger, be kind, be generous.
What? America inspired Hitler to commit mass genocide? Wait, what? Who said that? Wait, first of all, America did inspire Hitler. I don't know if you know this. I think you're like saying that as a joke to be like, oh, everyone says America bad. And like, they'll even blame, Hitler's actions on America, but like, it's literally true. yeah, Hitler looked at, you know, Jim Crow laws and eugenics that was popping off in America and openly stated, like, that's some good shit. Like, we want to do that. So yeah, that literally true. So I don't know what the fuck you thought that was going to be, but now maybe it's time for a fucking history lesson for you, I guess. I don't think the gas chamber, the Bracero program is not, I don't know if that's real. The Bracero program being like the Zyklon B's first usage / that's where the gas chamber inspiration came from. I don't know if that's true or not. But the other part of it, like the segregation, Jim Crow laws being an influence in how to do the racist violence for Hitler is true. America in the early 20th century was the leading racist jurisdiction in the world, says Whitman, who was a professor at Yale Law School. Nazi lawyers, as a result, were interested in, looked very closely at, and were ultimately influenced by American race law. Yeah. And we fucking loved Hitler here too, by the way. 30,000 Nazis literally marched on Madison Square Garden. I don't know if you know this or not, but the American Bund movement was very, very successful. So, you know, just another thing to consider and another thing to remember, I think. America first is what they were claiming, those Nazis, at the time. In 1933, Madison Nazi March. Yes, you can literally pull footage from YouTube. Yup.
Of their apartment. We enjoyed.
I've heard Americans were behind the Maidan coup revolution. Thoughts? No, yes and no. Here's what's annoying about the way that we respond to color revolutions here, or the way we understand it. It's either it's all America's doing, or it's all fucking propaganda, and it's like a genuine civil society revolution. What's frustrating about this is the nuance gets lost in these conversations all the time. Let me explain. The Euromaidan protests were originally 1,000,000%, okay, whether as a consequence of propaganda or whether it was like legitimate and genuine, were absolutely created by the Ukrainian people, okay? Straight up. They did not like their incredibly corrupt government, okay? And they absolutely legitimately were very upset with the way things were going. Part of it was because of their refusal to join NATO, and that is true. I mean, not NATO, sorry, the EU, and that is true. It's true. You can't fucking deny that. It's so stupid. But what the CIA and what the American State Department loves doing is launch or take advantage of genuine momentum in a certain direction in a country and turning it into whatever the fuck they want to turn it into. Okay? If you think that there was no American involvement in this circumstance, you're a fucking fool. Okay? Absolutely. Like, just John McCain was just simply going and hanging out with like Svoboda people, the Nationalist Party, the far-right nationalist, like neo-Nazi filled party for no reason. They were just hanging out and taking photos with the Azov battalion for no reason. It was just for funsies, okay? So, of course, there was a tipping of the scales there, 1,000%.